Hey, everybody, I'm Chris Starcheski, the principal at Dudley Middle School with the Unlocking the Middle podcast. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing really well, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here with you today to break down a few areas of education that we think are oh so vitally important. And my name is Dean Packard. I'm the principal of Charlton Middle School and the co-host of Unlocking the Middle.
So we are here today to talk a little bit about high expectations. And, having high expectations is something that is quite important, but it also is quite realistic. If you set the right learning environment, high expectations can easily be achieved by every member of your learning community. And, as I sit back and reflect on my years as a math educator and the work that I've done as a school leader, I always think back to the Pygmalion effect, Robert Rosenthal's work from the 30s. He talked about how our actions impact others' beliefs, which come around to their actions that tend to reinforce the beliefs of ourselves when we see them following our advice or our actions. And then that influences our future actions. So here's what all that means. Set the bar high, provide resources and supports for the kids to get there and scaffold, and they'll actually be able to reach higher than they thought that they could because they're being influenced by your actions and your belief system.
Chris, that foundation you talk about is very important. And the ladder approach, with that ladder being stuck in a strong foundation is extremely important as you begin that process for growth. But more importantly, from my perspective as a leader, that collaborative practice and solid planning, getting together with colleagues and really figuring out when you're digging into standards and what's important to really look and stretch them as far as you can, because kids will learn at different rates. And if you put that bar up here, the kids will gravitate to it. And then everything will kind of just fall back into that middle ground. And again, we have a big population of kids in public education at times that never get challenged to the level that they should. And it's a lot has to do with because of the fact that the way that our mindset has been set around teaching since 1992 when standardized testing came out. Again, that aside, you look now, every child has the right to be stretched and to be pushed. And shame on us as educators if we don't look at it to say, okay, here is the shining star moment. Let's see what it takes to get here and put it up there and see where kids go. That just comes through a lot of good collective dialogue, a good breakdown of standards, and great planning.
You know what? It does. And one other thing, if we share the workload with our students, they're going to be able to achieve those higher expectations quicker. And what I mean by that is, if you've ever read the book, or if you haven't read the book, Never Work Harder Than Your Students by Robin Jackson, what a powerhouse, dynamic educator from the Texas region. She created this wonderful system where the kids do a majority of her work. If they have a question about how to edit an essay, she gives them a tool to find out how to have a peer help them become better writers. And in turn, they become better writers because they're getting feedback from the horizontal perspective. They're pushing one another to be better, and they're actually challenging one another to continually improve. And you know what that does? That doesn't mean that the kid who understands more is always the go-to helper in the classroom. That's not how you challenge an upper level child. How you challenge an upper level child is have them look to advice from peers in their class on how they can be better. Because
Chris,
in that tunnel, when they think in the tunnel, they don't know anything different.
Well, so you're flipping that classroom, and actually you're looking at shifting a mindset. And I know a lot of educators who are fearful of the fact of losing control of what they think they have to do. But when you become a facilitator and you allow the students to really network off and gravitate and own their own learning, amazing things do tend to happen. And you are going to hit those higher expectations quicker if you do allow that freedom and autonomy within all of your students. Now, again, becoming a facilitator, that's a dream as an educator, because I'll tell you what, you can step back and drive this learning train. And that is a utopian moment when it comes to having and watching an entire class of all different levels, mind you. It doesn't matter what level you are. The models and the peers together will allow that learning to move forward. Stay out of the kid's way. Let them go.
That's right. Get out of the way. Remember to have a positive school culture, classroom culture, have established routines, and those high expectations will be able to be met. We hope that you all enjoyed our time today on Unlocking High Expectations. Join us on Unlock the Middle on Sunday nights.